If you, like me, have been waiting for the Fallout 4 next-gen update before you start playing, or in my case, starting a long-delayed replay, your wait is over. Just a day after this video goes up, it will be out there in the world. Quite possibly breaking as much as it promises to fix, because this is Bethesda we're talking about, but that's part of the adventure too, isn't it? And my own new livestream roleplay character, War Crimes Nate, will be wandering the Commonwealth, doing everything he can to avoid giving in to his intrusive thoughts. Hello again, I am Blunty, and alongside a pair of other newbie and returning player helpful videos for those riding the reinvigorated fandom wave the TV show has brought to the Fallout games, I bring you today a bunch of tips, hints, and tricks for Fallout 4 to get you properly prepared and informed about some stuff the game doesn't really tell you about, but are really super handy to know going in. So let's get the newbies prepared and all kick some rust off the old memories and get a refresher for the veterans. First off, the game has a settlement building system. You'll very likely be introduced to it very early on. You can establish little townships that will attract NPCs to live and work there, defend it, even actors, traders and merchants farm food for you, that kind of stuff. This system is a kind of love or hate thing for most players. It's a bit janky and the build system's all kinds of flaky, and after the intro quest you can totally ignore it for the entire rest of the game if you really like, but there are some benefits for at least dipping a toe in a little bit. Like, for example, setting up some water purification systems at your old hometown sanctuary. It's a useful and free healing item. Not very powerful, but you can use it between engagements to heal up some battle damage without using your more valuable stim packs, which are better kept for use during battle. And with purified water, you can regenerate an endless supply of it freely with these machines. Plus, you can continuously sell off whatever you don't want or need to traders for more caps. It's free money. Harvested purified water will be automatically sent to your workbench storage too, which is convenient. If you are on PC, the game comes from the times of old, where a quick tap of the F5 key pops up a quick save without ever touching a menu. Instead, the F9 key will reload the most recent quick save. Very useful to know if you're a learn-by-doing kind of player, or just like to save scum dialogue trees and speech checks. But quick saves are also not endlessly rollbackable. They are not a replacement for a proper save. So every half hour or so, do try to remember to plant down a proper save as well, as these are permanent to your character and you can roll back to anyone you like, as far back as you like, so if something does go horribly wrong, you've got a way to rewind. If you are like me, you're an absolute loot goblin. But there's also a carry weight system in this game that can be quite frustrating to deal with, and if you are over encumbered, well, it's not a super fun time. To help you refine what you need to be collecting for specific crafting uses, you can actually tag your missing materials while at the workbench. And after you do that, any item in the world you hover over that has the material will show a magnifying glass icon next to it telling you, hey, pick this one up, you need this stuff. Power armor can be fun and, well, powerful as the name might imply, but when you are not using it, power armor also stays exactly where you left it. The most recent site for your most recently used suit of armor is marked on your map to make it easy to go back and get it. But if you are stashing it at a settlement or anywhere close to NPCs in general really, before you walk away from it, enter the trade inventory and take out the power core. Otherwise, NPCs can, and indeed will, get into it if they're under threat from something, even other NPCs. And this means friendlies and enemies can just take your power armor. If it's a friendly, you can ask them to get out of it again if you catch them doing it, but an enemy, not so much. And believe it or not, it is even possible for a wandering trader to take your power armor for a walk across the damn wasteland. You might never see it again. Linked to this, settlers can and will take powerful weapons from your workbench storage when the settlement is under attack, but they won't take it if they can't actually use it. So if you are storing weapons for later use, or just because you can't bear to get rid of them because they're kind of cool, do not also store the ammo for it in your workbench. If there is no ammo, the settlers won't take it because they can't shoot it. Oh, and ammo itself is weightless in 4 unless you're in the hardcore survival mode, so you can just keep it all in your pockets instead, which should stop the settlers from even trying to use the ammoless guns you are storing. There's a couple of other ways to deal with these issues, and veterans, please feel free to describe your preferred method in the down below. The mannequin method is a popular one, but I just wanted to let you know this is an issue that you need to know about. How you go about solving it, well, that's up to you. Now, Fallout 4 has a slightly confusing armor system it never properly explains, and it did catch me out a couple of times my first time playing through. See, like many games, your armor can be equipped in parts: head, chest, each leg separately, each arm separately, and you can mix and match different armor parts to your heart's content. And you can mod and upgrade the parts quite extensively. It's a really nice system, actually. But there are 3 different kinds of armor the game cares about, and they're not super easy to see the difference, and they can interfere with one another. And that can be very frustrating. See, there's the armor and parts we just talked about. There's under armor, which can and should be worn under the parted armor for extra benefits. Under armor can also be modded for extra protection. But there's also outfits, which are whole body pieces and can't be combined with other bits and pieces armor, but do often have special perks of their own. And some of these outfits can even be upgraded for better protection with things like ballistic weave. Now, sometimes you'll want to keep certain non-armor clothing to change into for dialogue and trading purposes, as many boost your charisma, and charisma affects both those things. A combination of a charismatic hat, charismatic glasses, and charismatic outfit can all boost your charisma quite significantly and have a very large effect. And even more so when combined with other temporary charisma boosters like certain kinds of alcoholic drinks. But do remember to put your armor back on when you're done with that, because outfits almost always have little to zero actual protection. So pay careful attention when you're equipping any new gear you'll find out in the world, because if you equip an outfit, it will unequip all of your other armor, and you might not even notice till it's too late, and you're suddenly quite a lot more squishy than you were. Back on the subject of ammo. Ammo for some weapons can be hard to come by, but as I mentioned earlier, ammo in the standard game is weightless, so you can and should loot every single type you find, take every round. If you've got a really solid idea about which guns you'll be using, you can just sell off what you're never going to use for a pretty decent price to make you some caps, but it's also wise to carry a backup weapon to your main one, and specifically one that uses a different ammo type, something easier to come by perhaps, just in case of emergencies or for use on trash mobs to save the rarer ammo of your main gun for the more challenging bits. Still on weapons and armor and ammo, you can have a variety of NPC companions join you on your adventures, and you should try this out. Many are quite fun, some are just interesting, some have unique interactions, skills, and even quite powerful buffs they can bestow upon you. And not all of the companions are even human, but you can equip most of your companions with weapons and armor of your own choosing, so they're even more useful, or just, fall down less often in battle. But you need to know, while their default weapon does not consume any ammo at all, giving them an endless ability to shoot, if you equip them with a weapon of your own choosing, it will also need ammo, and that ammo will be consumed. So keep that in mind. You're going to have to keep them stocked up with ammo if you give them a special gun. If they run out of ammo, they will switch back to their default weapon, so they're not completely useless, but it might make them a lot less effective if you've given them an especially powerful weapon. Still on companions, if you have spotted that Lone Wanderer perk in the skill tree, you might be tempted to wander without a companion, because that perk is pretty damn powerful. But here's the thing with that. Dogmeat, who you'll come across almost as soon as you start playing, is a companion. But he's the only one in the game that is immune to this perk, so you can have him as your companion and still benefit from Lone Wanderer. Good boy. Oh, and mid to late game, when you start carefully modding out your favorite weapons and armor, here's a big tip. Give them unique names, maybe even prefix it with X underscore or a dash or something to help quickly identify it as important. It will also keep them all together in the default alphabetically sorted listing of your inventory. Doing this means you're quite a lot less likely to, accidentally scrap it like a huge big dummy ding-dong moron. Not that I've ever done that, I'm just saying. I've heard somewhere that this is a pretty good idea to avoid that. Anyway. Hopefully these have been useful tips to you. Let me know any other useful tips in the down below. Please do be mindful of spoilers though. We are talking about newbies here, so if you've got a tip that feels a bit more spoilery, use your judgment on that one. Thank you as always to the patrons scrolling up above there. I am Blunty, and I will catch you next time, and hopefully I'll also see you on the live streams. Catch you next time.